Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're uncovering what is often the hidden engine behind rapid business growth. We're answering one massive, absolutely crucial question. How do you recruit the right dealer or distributor for faster business growth? Because let's be real, creating an amazing product, that's really only half the battle. Getting it into your customers' hands efficiently is where the real magic happens.
Now here's a super frustrating but honestly all too common scenario. Companies will pour millions of dollars into R&D and these massive marketing campaigns, right? But then they just completely fail to hit their sales targets. It leaves the leadership team scratching their heads, wondering why their undeniably superior product isn't just flying off the shelves.
So, what's the missing link? Well, it's having the right distribution partners. Without the right dealers and distributors on your side, even the absolute best products in the world are going to stall out. Distribution isn't just some boring logistical step you hand off. It is a long-term strategic investment. It literally dictates your market penetration and ultimately your revenue growth.
All right, here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the distribution blind spot. 2, the risks of wrong partners. 3, the ideal distributor profile. 4, the actual steps for successful recruitment. And finally, 5, we'll look at the Bangladesh context and T&IB.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the distribution blind spot.
It's actually incredibly rare for a manufacturer to sell directly to every single end user. Just think about your favorite physical product for a second. It probably didn't travel straight from the factory floor to your front door, right? Instead, distributors buy in bulk and supply to local dealers, who then champion your brand in their specific territories. They bring that crucial local market knowledge, the warehousing, and the sales teams. This entire ecosystem is what allows you to expand rapidly without having to open up costly branch offices in every single city.
Moving right along to Section 2, the risks of wrong partners. Now, a capable distributor, they will absolutely elevate your brand. But an unsuitable partner will do the exact opposite. They might slack on marketing, delay payments, or just have terrible logistics. And here is the really scary takeaway. Replacing a bad distributor after you've already entered a market is a total nightmare. It completely disrupts your customer relationships and can lead to messy legal disputes that are incredibly hard to untangle once they're entrenched.
So, that brings us to Section 3, the ideal distributor profile.
If it's not just about who has the deepest pockets, what actually makes a great partner? Well, an ideal partner brings a whole suite of assets to the table. Sure, financial capital is important, but they also need established buyer relationships, dependable logistics, and solid ethical business practices. But the absolute most important thing? Long-term brand commitment. You want someone who is genuinely invested in growing your brand over time, not just someone looking to flip a product for a quick buck.
All right, Section 4, Steps for Successful Recruitment. Here is the exact roadmap you need to follow. It moves sequentially from internal planning to rigorous external checking and finally to active relationship management. Seriously, you cannot skip a step here if you want sustainable growth.
Step 1 is all about defining clear commercial objectives before you even think about recruiting. You've got to pinpoint your target customer segments, carve out those geographic territories, and set really firm operational rules for logistics and pricing. Without this foundational strategy mapped out, even the best distributor is going to struggle to deliver.
For Step 2, professional due diligence is absolutely non-negotiable. This means verifying their financial stability and legal standing for sure. But it also means doing the real legwork. You have to conduct reference checks with their suppliers and customers. And I cannot stress this enough, perform operational site visits. Actually going to see their warehouses and retail outlets tells you so much more about their true operational capacity than a fancy pitch deck ever could.
And finally, Section 5, the Bangladesh context and T&IB.
To really see this methodology in action, let's look at one of Asia's most dynamic markets, Bangladesh. This place offers an enormous commercial opportunity. We're talking about a population of over 170 million people, backed by a rapidly expanding middle class. It is a prime, high-growth destination for foreign investment.
But here's the catch. Bangladesh is not just one uniform landscape. Customer preferences, logistics infrastructure, and commercial practices differ wildly across these regions. A distribution strategy that crushes it in the capital of Dhaka is going to need some major localized adjustments to work in places like Sylhet, Rajshahi, or Khulna. This incredible diversity is exactly why picking the right local partner is make or break.
I love this quote from industry expert MD Joinal Abdeen. He notes that the right partner essentially becomes an extension of your organization. Navigating the regulatory hurdles and unique commercial culture in a market like Bangladesh requires specialized, boots-on-the-ground expertise that most expanding companies just don't have in-house.
And that brings us to Trade and Investment Bangladesh, or TINB for short. They're a consulting firm that acts as your expert guide in this exact arena. By leveraging a massive local network of entrepreneurs and trade associations, TINB objectively identifies, screens, and manages reliable partners for you. They do the heavy lifting, from preliminary screening and coordinating meetings to background assessments and finalizing the right partnerships.
And because distribution doesn't happen in a vacuum, TNIB takes a really smart, integrated approach. Think about it. A distributor finds it way easier to sell products backed by professional branding and a strong digital presence. By pairing recruitment with digital marketing, branding, and deep due diligence, you aren't just building a sales channel, you're actively building strong market demand to ensure long-term sustainable growth.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final critical thought. Your business expansion should never depend solely on just increasing your production capacity. Your next phase of rapid growth depends entirely on the commercial partners you choose. They literally become the face of your brand. So, looking at your own strategy right now, who will you trust to be the bridge to your customers tomorrow?